G'day, today I'm going to talk about a few things that need to happen at the start of your journey to opening a business. And they center around these two simple questions. The first one is, what services are you offering and what are you not offering? And the second one is there a demand? So we're going to look at both of those and see if we can find some good answers for you to those important questions. Now, before you pour all your efforts into building your business, there are three key steps that you've got to take to make sure that your business is worth a shot. The first one is obviously to define what it is that you're offering, okay? So I'll explain why it's really important for you to work out both what you are and what you aren't offering. You've got to have a really clear idea about the services that you are capable of delivering consistently well and profitably. If you have that clarity, then you're going to be able to know what your primary services are and also who you're going to target so that you can offer it to the clients who need it the most, okay? Now, you should also know what you're not offering, and there's a couple of important reasons why. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, and you need to worry about spreading yourself too thin because that's kind of like death by 1,000 missed deadlines. So nobody expects you to be Herbert Multiman, who does absolutely everything, the guy that was pretty good at a lot of things but not expert at anything. Nobody actually wants that. They want people who are expert at a few things. So don't try and offer too much. And the results of your first few deals will actually define your reputation. So if it goes well, clients will actually spread the news about you and they might refer you to other people, which would be great. If it doesn't go so well, that word also gets passed on, and it's very damaging to the image you're trying to build as a service provider, and it also takes a long time to overcome that. Right, the second step that you need to be taking is to find out if there's a market, okay, for what you're offering, and that's where effective market research comes in. And why is this so important? Well, to be honest, the second biggest cause of business failure after not being able to manage the money is offering something that the market doesn't want. 60% of businesses fail because they're offering something that the market doesn't want. Now, they might only be a little tinsy-wincy bit away from what the market actually wants, but it's enough. Okay, so you have to know for sure that if you're going to build this business, you want to be able to attract paying customers. And look, here's a couple of ways that you can find your answers. All right. The first one is to look at your history of offering the skills at the heart of your new business and answer these questions. How long have you been actually doing this, performing this skill? Have people paid you for this skill in the past? Like, for example, did you have a full-time job and get paid for doing the work? Have you had paying clients in the last couple of years for this service? And if so, what kind of clients have you had? Are they mostly companies, or are they organizations, or are they individuals? Then based on your past clients, do you think there is a possibility that those type of clients would deal with an independent person like you rather than an agency? Okay, and then the other thing is, has people come up to you and said, look, I understand you do good graphic design. Can you give me some help? I need some help in that particular area. So to recap, one of the best ways to find out if there's a need for the service that you're planning to deliver is to look into your history of doing it in the past. And then make a list of the ideas and the observations that you've had during that time. What did you notice about certain clients? Were there good clients and bad clients? And what made you decide which was which? What did you notice worked best for you when you were discussing your service skills with them? Was it your creativity? Was it your on-time delivery, your innovation, your reliability, your price? What was it that really stood out? Now, once you've done these two bits of what I call historical review, okay, now you can analyze the potential that you see today in the service business that you want to put together, and you can decide whether it's actually enough to build on and to actually earn money and have a good life. Now, the second really powerful way of finding out answers to the question is if there is a market for your service is actually asking potential clients directly. Make a list of the clients that you've had before in your past company, or the businesses that you were employed by, and then add some people that you know have used a service like this before and that you've helped. And then get in touch with them and just send them a small survey. It doesn't have to be long. A friendly message to this list of people, asking them a couple of simple questions. What you want to know is if you were to offer the same service that you previously did for them, but you did it on a freelance basis or as an independent business with the same price, but easier to deal with, is there a possibility that they would want to buy the service from you? You're not asking them to commit. What you're doing is asking them to give you some feedback about the concept. Okay, that's the really important thing here. So you need to be clear with them that you much prefer them to be honest, because it's market research that you're doing. You're not just trying to feel good about this. You actually need to know, because you're going to make some pretty important decisions based on what they tell you. Now, we've got some templates that you can use. So just send me an email at steve@businessmentals.com and we'll ping them in the mail to you, and you'll find that these things work really well. Now, the third step that you really need to take is to know how to make your service good enough to make it stand out, okay? Because you want to be able to fulfill the needs of others and do it better than your competition. So here's a couple of cool hacks that you can use. The first one is, the quickest way to find out what your potential customers' needs are is to tap into your own social connections, right? Your Facebook friends, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and your email list if you've actually got one already. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, you know what, I don't have a really big following on social media, or what happens if I don't have a lot of contacts? It's all right. Use whatever you've got, okay? Run what you brung, because the more information you can find out, the more likely you are to make the right decision, all right? So if you're using, this is the kind of thing that you'd go out. You say you send out a note to the people that you know who are looking for people like you, and you would ask them a simple question. Hey guys, I'm asking this question as part of my market research about thinking of setting up this business. If you're using social media marketing right now, what are the things you want to hear from your freelance social media manager or your agency? Just tell me in the comments below. So give them a list of things to choose from, and you'll be surprised at the kind of response you get from people who are actually in business of employing people like you. They will tell you the things that, to be blunt, piss them off, the things that they're really looking for, and that's a really good way. You never know, you might actually end up with a couple of clients coming out of that, but you're not asking them directly at this point to do the work. You're just asking, hey, what are you kind of looking for? And then you need to go back and find out whether or not you can do it for people. So you're going to get answers from people who are actually interested in the kind of topic that we're talking about if you use things like Reddit and Quora, because these are huge communities. So you can go in and find what other people are asking and kind of responses that they're getting and add them all in, and then just make sure that you're working hard the whole time to grow that email list. Now, another good way to understand your customers' needs and then select a way of standing out is by doing competitor research. Okay, you might say, oh, I'm just a solo operator. What do I need to do this for? Well, because, you're not competing in a vacuum. You're competing against people who've got potentially a lot more resources than you have. So have a look at your competitors. Look at the agencies, the individuals, the other freelancers. Find out what they're offering and what they're not offering, and see where you can add something that will just make yours a little bit better, a little bit sharper, a little bit more value, okay? Now, it's not necessarily only on price that people buy. People look at quality of work. They look at the package offerings that you can put together. Are you adding strategy and direction to your service so that they benefit from that? Whatever it is that you can look at to say, I'm just a little 5 degrees to the left or the right, depending on which way you're looking at this, of where everybody else is, and that's a good place for me to be. Now, once you've done all these things and you've taken all these steps that we've been talking about, just sit down and make a note of all the common points, because there'll be sort of themes coming through that you want to capture, right? And evaluate your answers to the questions that we asked you at the start of this video. All right, and so those questions, just to recap, are: what services are you offering and what are you not offering? Is there a demand? And how do I find out? Now, you need to be really honest with your conclusion, as honest as you can be, because this is going to be critical in planning and defining the viability of this business that you want to get cracking on. Now, if you're pointing towards a great big yes, then excellent. Make sure you go through each result that you got from your survey about what potential customers want, so that when it comes to shaping your services and offering, you're right on the money. All right. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting far less sales than you could, and actually taking a lot longer to become a profitable and self-sustaining business. And that happens a lot for people. And I know I have my own bitter experience about this, because I, in one of my businesses, didn't do sufficient market research, and I kept offering things that nobody wanted. And I never went to find out. And believe me, it was, that's the reason why I've gone grey-ish. So, okay, so look, here's a quick recap of what we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes or so. These are the 3 steps that you should take right at the start as part of your market research to know if there's a need for your type of service in the market that you are going to be servicing, and whether it's worth building a business around. So step 1, the first step is to clearly define what it is you're offering and what you're not offering. Step 2, find out if there's actually a market for your type of service offering. And step 3, know how to make your service both good enough to stand out and also unique enough to answer the needs of potential customers and to make you look different to the competition. Okay, so that's it for this video on research and using that to actually find out what your service or product offer should be, and to know whether or not your service business idea is actually worth a shot. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to email me on steve@businessmentals.com, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. And as I said before, look, we've got lots and lots of templates on surveys that you can send out, on emails that you can send to people. So please, whatever you need, just let us know, because we've got a heap of stuff that'll add a tremendous amount of value, and we'd love to do it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, and catch you later.